Welcome back to Ask Allison. Here's today's question. When do you know it's time to raise your rates? So first, I'd like to thank TherapyNotes for sponsoring us. You guys can get 2 months for free if you use the code ABUNDANT at checkout. So there are 3 major milestones at which you should evaluate your fees and consider raising them. But there are some other considerations that I want to talk about today, including some options on how to raise those rates and how to get comfortable with that new number. The first milestone is when you realize that you set your fees without using math. Typically, this is when you learn that your fees shouldn't be based on the fees that you see around you. Right this moment may be this milestone for you guys. This is by far the most common way that people set their rates. They kind of look around, they see what everybody else is charging, they kind of fall in line. They might look at what insurance pays and set their rate just slightly above that number. Here's the problem with that. You and your colleagues all did the same exact thing and nobody used math. Nobody thought about their mortgages or their retirements or the vacation that they need to take in order to stay fresh and great at their job. Insurance certainly never considered your life expenses. They're going to pay you the least they can get away with and still have providers. So the amount that you're charging, it might be enough for all those things that are important to you. But if you didn't do the math to make sure, then I strongly suggest that you get on that. Tiffany McLean has a free calculator that you can use on her website, heytiffany.com. Like I said, it's free. It doesn't take a ton of time. It gives you really, really valuable information. So I recommend you do that. I recommend all the people that I work with in the inner circle do it. It's something we have a whole conversation around. And then we spend some time in there talking about the discomfort that sometimes comes up with the number they come up with. We're going to talk about that in a minute though. Another time to consider raising your rates is when you're full. So let's say you've already done the math and you know what you need to get paid per session to be in this profession for the long haul. Once you're full, you have to have proven to yourself, boom, look, this works. Like supply and demand is here. I've proven it to myself. I can rest in this. So I want you to assess your goals. Life changes. Maybe when you first did the calculator or before you were full, your number was different than it is now. Maybe you want to have a kid, or maybe you just had a kid. Maybe you're taking care of an aging parent. Maybe you're paying for a kid to go to college. Maybe you're taking care of a sick spouse. Maybe you're like me and you're playing catch up with retirement. So if you want to put some more money into retirement, for instance, or a college fund or whatever, do Tiffany's calculator again. If you see 20 clients a week and you raise your rate just $10 per session, which is not a number most clients balk at, that's $10,000 extra dollars per year you could be putting towards college or putting towards savings or putting into retirement. You may find that your fees are just fine where they're at. Maybe you did something like pay off your student loans, and so your fees are just fine accommodating these extra expenses that come up in life. But you have to do the math to know. All right, number 3. I don't know if this is actually a milestone, but it's number 3. Many jobs give annual raises, cost of living expenses, for instance. The jobs that I had did that sporadically, not every year, and often with an apology of like, we can only do 2% this year for folks. So I want you to consider the kind of boss you want to be to yourself. What kind of an employer are you? Are you somebody who is going to make sure that your employee, who's also you, gets annual raises? I recommend that if you're doing this, you always do it the same month of the year, and that you put it in your financial agreement that you're going to increase your rates every January or every June, or maybe it's your birthday month, every August. And that you let your clients know that are calling your new clients like 2 months prior. Let's say you're raising your rates in August. In July, somebody calls and wants to start therapy with you. Let them know on the phone in that conversation, my rate is this. Every August, my rate increases and it will be this. So that they're not kind of blindsided that a month in their rate's changing. So here's the deal. I want you guys to follow the agreements and the consents that you have your client sign to the hilt. You expect them to follow them, and you should too. And that means not putting, I'm going to have a cost of living increase to my fee, or I'm raising my fees, every single year. Not having that in there and then not doing it. If you feel weird doing it, that's a mindset issue. When you wrote that in your consent, there was an idea and a reason that you had it. And if it's go time and you're feeling squirmy, there's some mindset stuff to do. I want you to hold your boundaries. If you said you're going to do it, do it. So I'm going to encourage you not to put the amount that you're going to raise it in your paperwork, because one year it might be $5 per session. One year it might be $25 per session. It just depends on what's going on in life. So here's how to do it. Some folks keep current clients at their initial session that everybody agreed upon when they started, and they increase the rates only for the new clients coming in. Some raise it for everybody at once. Some step the long-standing clients up slowly over time to meet the people who are new. It totally depends on your practice, and there is not a right or wrong way. It just depends on one, which you'll stick to, what feels right for you in your practice, and what makes sense for your clients. We help folks in the inner circle sort through that, and we also have scripts for all of these within the Abundance Party. So regarding how to get comfortable with your new fee, I want you to know that it takes time. You're not going to be like, oh, I want to charge this amount that sounds like a lot of money, and that I wasn't charging before for some reason. Like, when you come up with a number, it's going to sound daunting, probably initially, and it's going to stay that way for a little while in your head. And then you've got the work of having it come out of your mouth on phone calls with clients, or in session with clients, depending on how you're doing it. I know for me, I've been in private practice, I think 14 years, something like that. And every time I raise my rates, I have some squirminess around it in my head, and then it comes out of my mouth the first few times and I want to take it back. But I know that if I say it enough, you know, my phone keeps ringing, luckily, so I have the opportunity to say it a lot. Within a week of saying it, maybe 2 weeks, if it's a slow 2 weeks, I'm like, oh, well, this is just my rate. It feels comfortable. So know that you can kind of exposure therapy your way through any discomfort you feel around your rate. And to remember, like, your rate is based on what you need to be a therapist for the long haul. It's what you need to be able to continue to serve your community. You are not doing anybody any harm by setting whatever rate you set. Okay, so it's amazing how a question that seems like it should just have like a quick one-sentence answer can have like minutes and minutes and minutes of answers. There's a lot like that in private practice, as you've probably found. So if you want a team of people guiding you through that, the team of people that I trust with my business, I would love to have you join the Inner Circle. You get one-on-ones to help you build your practice, group calls, more one-on-ones for branding and website copy, office hours with me, plus everything in the Abundance Party. We open the doors today, and we're going to close them late Friday night. So you can learn all about it and sign up at abundanceparty.com/innercircle. Let me know if you have any questions. Shoot me an email, DM me on Instagram, and we also have a Zoom room that we will link to that you can join us on Friday. Lindsay and I will be in there answering questions about whether or not Inner Circle is a good fit for you. All right, y'all. Have a really great day.